Welcome back, dear traveller, to the Chronicles of Whispering Hollow, a place where time moves gently and every soul has a story. Today we follow the traveller and young Fern the fox as they journey through rain and mist towards a very special refuge, the Tea Tavern, home of warmth, wisdom, and the quietest kind of magic. So pour yourself a cup of tea, settle somewhere cosy, and listen as we enter Koala's Quiet Corner. The traveller and Fern were slowly walking and squelching their way into Mushroom Town. The day was grey and stormy. The trees shook in the wind and the rain collected on the leaves before dropping onto them as they followed the rough path. The night before, all the frogs and the cicadas in the valley had started singing. It began as a few croaks, pops and burbles, then grew louder as clouds gathered at the rim of the valley. Abigail had said the storms were due to start soon, and that this first one of the season might hang around for a few days. They had stayed up late watching the lightning flash and listening to the thunder and rain. The smell of damp earth and sharp eucalyptus woke the traveller in the morning. The clouds had settled low to the ground, making the world misty and mysterious. They decided it was time to move on, and the traveller was very curious about the tea tavern that everyone in Whispering Hollow had spoken so highly of. A warm tea and a small fire with some hot food would be lovely about now, thought the traveller. They hoped that by bringing the delivery of teas and herbs from Abigail, the tea tavern's owner might let them and Fern share a pot of tea for the afternoon. Fern bounced and splashed along the path, loving every puddle she came across and exclaiming with delight at all the new mushrooms that had sprouted overnight. Some of the shyer inhabitants of Whispering Hollow were still out and about because of the mist and cloud cover. Fern never missed an opportunity to show the traveller all the small wonders she found. "Oh, and look at you, you beautiful big boy," she exclaimed, pointing to the biggest, deepest green tree frog the traveller had ever seen. The traveller loved how comfortable the once shy fox cub had become in her presence, and listened quietly to all Fern had to say. The tea tavern loomed out of the mist, tall and vibrant. It nestled between the trunks of 3 giant strangler figs. The building seemed to grow from the trees themselves, with an abundance of windows and doors peeking through its bark-like walls. "Oh, quick run!" squealed Fern as another clap of lightning and thunder rolled overhead and a squall of rain poured down. They dashed under the veranda just in time to see the wall of rain sweep past. The front doors of the tea tavern stood wide open, and the traveller noticed a rack for shoes and umbrellas at the entrance. As they took off their shoes, a possum scurried over with towels and a rug to help Fern dry off. The traveller was offered a cloak so their clothes could be hung near the fire. Gratefully they accepted. Everyone inside wore similar cloaks to dry their clothes, and in Fern's case, to help her fur dry. "Wow, I hadn't realised how chilled I'd gotten on the walk," exclaimed the traveller. Fern giggled. "You started to shiver at the bridge crossing." As they approached the long bar lined with shelves of hundreds of teas and herbs, they noticed a woman at the far end filling kettles. She had long brown hair and a generous smile. "Hello, Fern, how are you? I see you've brought our friend the traveller today." "Hi, Eden. Yes, we've got a delivery for you from Abigail," said Fern. "Oh, that's splendid. Thank you for bringing it." Just pop it down on the bar and I'll fix you some tea and honey cakes. Go find a seat by the fire." They made their way to the large fire where the traveller leaned back against the trunk of the grand old tree that formed part of the tavern itself. The interior was a maze of alcoves, stairways, and cosy corners. It was both communal and private, full of soft chatter and the clink of teacups, and the scent of blossoms and herbs. The Tea Tavern glowed with warmth. Koala, the town's old soul, was perched in his nook, half in the branches, half nestled into the tavern wall. Fern whispered to the traveller, "When Koala finally speaks, he tells the best stories in town. It always feels like even the trees lean in to listen." Fern darted from table to table, saying hello to everyone, her claws tapping on the wooden floor and her words tumbling out quickly. She was so excited to be there. The traveller watched Fern and then noticed that Koala was watching too, blinking slowly as he chewed a eucalyptus leaf. He climbed down and patted the seat beside him near the big couch by the fire. "Come, sit, listen here, Fern. We have your favourite mat ready for you," Koala said in his deep, calm voice. He turned to the traveller and gave a slow wink. Fern came over and lay down on her mat. She fidgeted and wriggled with all her boundless energy, but the longer she sat, the slower her breathing became. She began to match the calm rhythm of those around her. From their resting spot, the traveller commented on Fern's constant rushing, which drew Fern and Koala into conversation. "Ah, youth," said Koala. "It's always harder for them to slow down. It can take a while for them to learn that some things cannot be rushed. Whispering Hollow moves at its own pace. If you try to hurry through it, you may miss paths that only appear in stillness. It's the same with life. Slowing down helps you see what you would have missed." The traveller nodded, remembering Bella the blue-banded bee and the path they'd discovered by slowing down enough to notice her song, the map hidden in her humming. While they chatted quietly, a small troll sat alone in the shadowed corner. His mossy green skin blended so well with the wooden beams that neither Fern nor the traveller had noticed him before, but he had been listening. Koala finally gestured towards him. "You have been quiet long enough, little one. Come share your story with us." Reluctantly, the troll shuffled closer. "Hi, my name is Brindle," he said, his voice gentle, earthy, and a little rough. His eyes were deep brown, like rain-soaked bark, and he clutched his arm protectively. They welcomed him into their circle. Brindle revealed he carried a wound, not just a cut across his arm, but one that ached much deeper. It had happened when he'd crossed paths with a wandering kangaroo who had posted a sign marking a safe grazing place. Not knowing what it said, Brindle had stumbled into danger. The kangaroo wasn't cruel, just startled, and Brindle was hurt. She had brought him to the Tea Tavern for help, away from her field where her young joeys played. Koala gently explained that Brindle had never learned to read the signs of the hollow. Literally, he couldn't read words, and that had left him vulnerable. "It's no fault of yours," Koala said kindly, "but knowledge is another kind of shelter." The traveller and Fern exchanged a glance, wondering if they might help. Eden arrived carrying warm tea steeped with herbs and a vial of golden honey. "Bella's honey." She knelt by Brindle, offering the soothing drink and tending to his arm. As the honey touched the wound, it began to ease and glow faintly. Warmth spread through Brindle's body. For the first time, he relaxed. Koala placed a paw on his shoulder. Healing comes in many forms: body, heart, and mind. Abigail and Eden can tend the body. The hollow will tend your heart. And for your mind, there is one who can help, if you're ready to learn. They passed around Eden's honey cakes, golden and fluffy and divine. There's Penelope Possum, Koala continued. She's a wise old teacher, known for helping those who struggle with words and signs. She'll teach you not just letters, but the stories hidden in them. Brindle looked uncertain, but very hopeful. The traveller and Fern both offered to accompany him when the time came. A sleepy voice drifted down from the ceiling. I can show you the way to my grandma's house whenever you're ready. They looked up to see Samantha, a possum, hanging upside down in her hammock, blinking her big round eyes. Oh, why, thank you, Samantha, exclaimed Koala. I'd forgotten you rest there after your night shift. Fern stretched with a yawn, calmer now. Maybe slowing down isn't so bad after all. The tavern grew quiet as tea was poured, honey cakes were handed around, eucalyptus leaves rustled above, and all of the companions felt the hush of Koala's quiet corner. And so, with bellies full of honey, cakes, and hearts full of peace, the Tea Tavern fell into a gentle hush. Outside, the rain eased and the soft light filtered through the mist, the hollow's way of saying, rest now, you're safe here. But the traveller's path is far from over, for somewhere beyond the tavern, tucked in the branches of a grand old gum, lives Penelope Possum, a teacher who reads the world in ways few can. Soon, Brindle the troll will take his first brave steps toward her home, and perhaps learn that stories and letters hold healing of their own. Until then, may your heart stay quiet, your tea stay warm, may you always find your own corner of calm in Whispering Hollow. The colouring pages and illustrations for this story and more are available in my Buy Me a Coffee page, Dusty Gypsy Studio. You can also follow me on socials, Facebook and Instagram, and I also have a website, dustygypsy.com.au, where I have all the information about the Chronicles, my art, and all of my pet portraits. Thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you next time.